Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. I have previously reviewed A Thousand Splendid Suns, which is another of his books, and if you look back on my channel you'll be able to find that video. I've also read The Kite Runner, so nearly all of his books. I believe he has a new book out now. The last couple of years I think it came out, so I'll definitely be checking that out because I absolutely love this author. He's wonderful and can just really make you feel all the emotions within one novel. So yes, today I'm going to be talking about this book, which is set in 1952 in Afghanistan, as his other books have been, primarily Kabul. So he obviously knows this area really well and chooses to have this as the basis for his novels. We begin with Abdullah and Parry, who are siblings living in poverty, and they're really inseparable from the beginning. I think Parry is about 3 at the beginning of the novel, Abdullah a couple of years older, and they really are completely inseparable, and they take a journey to Kabul, the big city, with their father, and neither of them can predict the fate that awaits them there. So Parry is effectively sold to a family who cannot have children in order to keep the family going, basically, as they are so poor, and this is a necessity. And this really sets off a chain of events which continues throughout the novel. So we see many different characters, we hear many different perspectives, and it all comes back to this original story. It spans across 6 or 7 decades, so the last we hear is in around 2010, and Parry and Abdullah are both elderly people at that point and actually have very little memory of each other, which is really heartbreaking. So it kind of comes full circle to when they're very old from when they're very young. So it's a journey. We kind of see their whole lives, and amongst that are some other characters, including the mother, the adopted mother of Parry, who takes her to live in Paris. And Abdullah has a family in Afghanistan, and he has his own kebab shop, and he grows old and unfortunately has dementia, so he ends up not really remembering his own daughter, let alone Parry. So it's a really kind of wide-ranging book which spans a long time, and I love that sort of novel. It feels like you've really been on a journey with these characters from the beginning. As always, Hosseini has a way of painting this amazing picture of the characters and you really fall in love with them. I think the only thing I would say about this book is that there seem to be more perspectives than his other books. It's been a long time since I read The Kite Runner, so I don't remember too well with that one, but certainly A Thousand Splendid Suns I think only has sort of 2 main perspectives. So there are more in this book which I found a little bit harder to get on board with. Obviously you're jumping about quite a lot, and it took me a while to settle into each narrative when we'd just come from another, and I kind of wanted to find out what happened there. So that's really my only criticism, that and the fact that I think a few loose ends sort of weren't completely tied up, but I think that was the intention. But aside from that, I really can't fault much about it. A lot of the book is written in an epistolary form, epistolary, however you'd like to say it. So a lot of it is in the form of letters, and this is really how the characters are tied together through letters between the characters. So I really like the way that the story is sort of conveyed through letters for a lot of the novel, which I think is a really nice technique. Once again, the landscapes within this novel are spellbinding. You really feel like you've sort of been there, you've walked in the shoes of those characters. As always, Hosseini has a way of kind of having this symbolism which really hits you in the feels. So, for example, the imagery of feathers is used. Parry collects feathers when she's a very young child, and this does return towards the end of the novel. Like, this comes back around, and the image of a feather is sort of symbolic, which could obviously represent a lot of things, whether intentional. The author may have intended this or not, but I sort of thought of it as kind of a journey of growth, spreading the wings, coming back home, back to the nest kind of thing. So I found that really powerful, the idea of the feathers. I would say, in a way, was my favourite of his novels because it was so far-reaching, so ambitious, and he really did pull it off. But in another way, as I said, I do kind of wish that I'd heard more from one or two characters and really been with them on the whole journey, because the journey was broken up and seen through the eyes of various characters. So whether you like that or not, obviously that's personal preference. I'm undecided, I would say. It certainly left me really emotional, as all of his novels have left me pretty wrung out, and I think that's really the sign of a great book, when you've really connected with it on that level. I'll be certainly reading Sea Prayer, which is his 2018 novel, I believe, and then I will have kind of read his whole oeuvre, and I believe it is anyway, and then I will be reviewing that one as well. So as always, I'm going to keep this review fairly short, just a little taster of what you can experience if you read this wonderful novel. And as you can see, we've got the feather imagery and the image of the sibling. So yes, it's a bit thicker than his other books as well. So definitely a bit of a challenge if you haven't read any of his books yet, and if you know what to expect, then you will know that it's going to be great. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. I'm certainly a little bit sporadic with my posting on YouTube, but if you would like to see some more regular reviews, I'm much more active on my Instagram. I post on there every couple of days. So yes, this is actually my 50th novel I've read in the year, and I've reviewed all of them on my Instagram page, whereas I think I've only done a handful of videos on YouTube. So if you would like to see more regular content from me, head over there. It's just Liv's Library Reviews. Thank you for subscribing to me here on YouTube, and I will be back with another video very soon. Bye!